Welcome to Thinking Women,
the intelligent conversation show.
And we are almost out of lockdown, fingers crossed. Hooray, yeah. So we're in the studio this month and we've got lots of interesting conversation, intelligent conversation for you, as always.
Yeah, I'm talking to the lovely singer-songwriter Luella Jeke, and we've got a fashion stylist on hand. And you're talking
I'm talking to Sarah Steele. Well, Sarah Steele, our money expert, will be doing the video. And Charlotte Lodi has been in the office, who has been talking to me about the Blue Mind method and getting in some cold water, which was really interesting. Yeah. So lots of good stuff.
Yeah, we kicked that conversation off last month, didn't we? Because we started talking about the whole cold water therapy. So she's great. So we've got the expert in to find out. So yeah, so a great show lined up for you. But normally, at this point in the show, we have our kind of like funny little what's in the inbox, don't we?
We do.
But we decided to change it this month because for women, this month of March has been just such, I think a roller coaster is a way to describe it. So we're filming this in the sort of third week of March, just FYI. So the week before, we just want to touch on what that week meant for women.
A really big week. It started off with International Women's Day and ended with Mother's Day, Mothering Sunday. But within that week, there was the terrible events regarding Sarah Everard, and also the interview with Meghan Markle. There was just so much going on, and it was almost a lot of sadness, sort of sandwiched between two supposedly quite celebratory, so we had empowering days. Yeah, so this bread of empower, and I did feel very empowered on Women's Day. You know, I felt that was such a great start, and obviously we are mothers, so you know, Mother's Day is an important thing to me. But yeah, in just 1 week in between, we had the Meghan Markle interview where you know her mental health was questioned. She was like, essentially told by the media, no, you did not have suicidal thoughts. And there was the race element there. And right through, then we had the Sarah Everard, we had the vigil on Clapham Common, and of course, the very horrible irony of the police brutality. And I think the thing that came out of it, and I know we've talked a lot about it off camera, is this feeling of whether women are safe and whether we can actually express ourselves. And we talk a lot about being thinking women, and that's all great, if you can't actually then express and communicate what you are thinking, that becomes really difficult. But I want to focus on this point about safety and how safe we all feel when we're out and about. And interestingly, and we put a post on our Facebook group about this, and you, Lou, was saying that you have always felt slightly
what
unsafe.
Happened with me when this all sort of came up, I think I realised that I think women, certainly my age group women, have lived in, just lived with this pervasive fear actually throughout our lives growing up, and you don't think about it. And this is where society comes into play, is that we just accept it. And because of particularly the Sarah Everard situation, it really brought it back to me how I live my life in fear. But I accept it, and when we started talking to other women, the outpouring was like, yes, absolutely. And it just, but then I was talking about walking home, and I've literally changed my life. And I realised since I was 20 years old, when I was first attacked, I mean, that's another thing, we talk to women, the volume of women who've had some kind of assault in their lives is huge for a start, and we start talking about it. But because of those instances, we change our lives. And I realised for 30 odd years of my life, I've literally lived with boundaries.
And as we said, this was the experience that we, when we put the comment on the Facebook group, we had lots of comments of people saying the same thing. It's an interesting one for me because I've sort of almost fought against it, and my initial reaction, well, I haven't really felt that unsafe. But then when I've actually thought about it, I have, and I do get nervous, if I'm walking around on my own, in the dark, or go for a run. I mean, that's the one that suddenly I thought I go running quite a lot. I go on my own. Quite many of the times that I go, and I did sort of think, well, actually, should I be doing that? So it sort of called me into question a bit about my behaviours and whether I'm fearful enough. But then, should we be having that?
But should we be fearful?
Yeah.
But that's the point, isn't it? We shouldn't live in fear.
No.
And the fact is, we are living in fear, and I'm going to say I didn't know I was, but I kind of had buried it, and that's how we all feel. And we're kind of living a lie of fear. And that's, if there's anything good that comes out of this week and this horrendous incident, that we can change, you know, and society needs to change. I mean, there's been a lot of discussion about, you know, men, and, you know, I'm a mother of young men. You're a mother of girls.
Yeah.
And so how we parent our children needs to be addressed.
Absolutely, and how
we have responsibility.
Yeah.
But it's a society will change, I hope.
And I think, if anything, you know, it's a balance between the two, isn't it? I mean, that's what I'd hope that my daughters grow up to understand the risks that they're taking and what they can do to mitigate those risks and whether risks are appropriate. So, you know, do you go out running at night in a dark wood, or do you go in somewhere more populated in the day? You know, those sorts of things. But it's not about not going out and not doing stuff. It's about making the right